Seth here with the second monthly progress showcase for Super Boss Unrivaled Lotus Jubei. Woo! I've been excited for this one. Hopefully a little earlier before the end of the month on this one too, actually. It should hopefully be going up on Saturday the 28th rather than the last day of the month. I've felt a little jumpier on this one. I'm pleased to say I think I've gotten a lot done with Jubei here. I went on a massive binge just working on Jubei for like the first half of this month. I am having so much fun with him that I'm honestly regretting not just making him a character of my own volition. He shouldn't have been on the character pool. I should have just made one myself. But, in case you couldn't tell between the, new theme music in the background and his, lovely astral aura, which is now permanently a part of him due to, good feedback on that change in the last video, I've been very busy with him. And, oh man, he's turning out beautifully, for sure. Definitely up there, and he's not even done yet, so I'm excited to keep working on him. But in the meantime, I should probably stop inflating the intro and just get to what I have been changing, because we have quite a bit to cover here. So, first things first, I should say, in relative to the milestone poll that I did, I asked all of you, the community, or at least the ones that voted, if Jubei deserved to have more than 20,000 health and to raise it to 23,000. Sadly, it was by a pretty slim margin, but the majority was in favor of keeping him with the standard 20,000 health, so he will not be getting a 3,000 boost, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Jeets, and anyone else that wanted it. I might overturn the vote due to how close it was. I'm not sure yet, but for now, his health is staying the same. Obviously, he has his badass astral aura, permanently active, gives more visual flair on top of his installed little orange cloud there. I think it actually complements it pretty nicely, so he has a much more powerful presence on screen now. A little more of a niche change. I have halved that startup to 2, so Jubei's jump startup is now 2 frames instead of 4, meaning he can block sooner when jumping than normal. And it seems like a little minute detail that won't come into play often, and I mean, it probably won't, but in the situations where it would matter, I mean, that's what counts, right? It's not super obscure, but it's not super relevant either in my eyes. But you never know, maybe he'll get out of fucking some stupid mix-up you're trying to do on by just 2-frame chicken blocking. Let's see, I did complain about his air dash speed last time, so that has been increased as well. Much better, as you can tell, rather than his base value. Not super fast, but considering he has other high mobility options to cross the screen. Like that. He doesn't really need super fast air dash. I might make them a little faster, actually. I'm not sure. How's his IAD speed from full screen? It's acceptable, I guess. It's not quite, you can't just, like, quite air dash from full screen. Oh, yeah, you can. Never mind. Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. He's fine. That's definitely fine. I have sped up his backdash and forward dash speed, as well as his standard run. Yeah, his run speed and his backdash and forward dash speed have been increased a little more now. Because I wasn't satisfied with the distance he was getting last time off of this, but now... So I think I hit the button too fast. It's a little... That's almost full screen. It's a little further now than it used to be. So that's been sped up. I think we're making good time here. I'm staying on pace here. And the last of his mobility options that I didn't touch last time, but I have now, is his cross-up jump from running into the opponent. This is now a lot faster, and it is invincible until Jubei lands. How much faster? Look at this.
Back here, back here, back here, back
Considerably
here,
faster.
back here, back here,
Considerably
back
harder to react to, and he lands basically instantly, but I mean, he's invincible while he's crossing you up until he fully
back
lands.
here, back here, back here.
Of course, can lead to very cheesy cross-up. What if I do, Shadow Wolf, Rising Justice.
Back here.
What if that crossed up before the ball came into contact? And the ball came, if he crossed up before the ball actually hit her, it means you had to switch your block. That means that was a disgusting-ass cross-up setup.
Just try it back here.
That's pretty alright. That's pretty good. Yeah, so you can do much stupider stuff with this now due to how much faster it is. And they can't mash you out of it, of course, because Well, they can, but
Back here, back
take
here.
some timing to it now. So all of his mobility options got a pretty significant and noticeable buff, luckily. So that much is complete now. I think it's safe to say his mobility is fine. His air throw. Yes, I changed his air throw. What an obscure thing for Seth to change. I know with his disgusting flaming hatred of air throws. But I like the animation of Jubei's air throw, so I felt that it deserved a little more pop to it. So as you can see, the hit stop lasts a lot longer. So the air throw has more hit stop, and it leaves the opponent closer to Jubei. I think I already did that other change about it leaving closer, so we can combo off it a little easier. But the hit stop is for added oomph and to give you a little more time to like react to whatever you want to follow up with. So next up, we have a change. This is very annoying to implement. Not exactly hard, but annoying. But a change suggested by our good friend Jeets for. It's another buff to all of Jubei's sword-based moves. So his 5C his C normals, some of his D attacks, his specials. These now all have the ability to cut projectiles. Kind of like Hakumu, it doesn't leave the void in front of it. But all sword-based moves, besides distortions, can destroy projectiles. And they gain small bits of projectile invincibility during their active frames to help do this. Because otherwise you would get very annoying instances of trying to get the projectile. Basically shit like that happening. Where you would try to cut the projectile, but you would trade with it and get hit anyways. So I add the projectile invincibility so he can like phase through it in the act as the sword to actually like hit the projectile without Jubei getting the clock. Okay, I need to... Seth needs to learn to talk a little slower. It has been a little bit of time since I've done like a normal Blazblue video due to how long it's taking to finish up the next super boss, but yeah, I notice I talk too fast for my own good. I need to slow down a bit. I've been trying to slow down a bit. It's always unsuccessful. Okay, I think I got my bearings. Next up, we have a couple normal changes until we go on to the really good stuff that I think you are all going to love very much. 2C has its head invincibility extended a little bit, and this is because to sort of coincide with the ability for it to cut projectiles. The invincibility with the head attribute and the projectile attribute kind of conflicted with each other, so I just kind of opted to make them the same, rather, for the most part, or rather the head invincibility starts sooner. It used to end before the before the projectile invincibility would wear off, but now they both just wear off at the same time. So you get head invincibility first, and then the projectile invincibility will kick in during the active frames, and then they both go away around the time when Jubei lands, essentially. And the head invincibility used to go away earlier than that, but now it lasts longer, essentially. That was probably more of a more detailed explanation of what was needed, but... just so you know the specifics, there you go. Okay, 6C. This was a suggestion from John to have Jubei's 6C will now ground bounce on aerial hit. I was a little torn up on this, not because it's broken, because I figure it's not actually like a buff. It's more like maybe a nerf, but I think studying it a little, experimenting a bit, it's actually a pretty good change to have. I guess it makes it a little easier to confirm off the air hits with 6C. I'm trying to figure maybe the flat knockdown it gave might have been a little better, but, yeah, ground bounce on air hit now. And just a note, about the 6C wonky hitbox situation. So, the hitbox on this move is whack because, well, it's deceptive, I should say. It's also whack, but it's deceptive. The slash effect, that is not the hitbox. The hitbox on 6C is the sword after it hits the ground, and it doesn't extend upward at all, hence why you get really weird situations. Oh, that actually hit, that's surprising. Like that, though, and other shit, like with 6A trying to combo with 6C afterwards. Like that, too. Not much I can do about that, so, like, extending the active frames wouldn't really help much because it just doesn't reach, so... the 6C hitbox jank is here to stay, sadly, at the moment. Okay, oh boy, we're already 10 minutes in, and there's quite a bit more to talk about. Sad. The next change is yet another suggestion from our good friend Jeets, and I really love this idea, so I'm happy he gave it to me, and that I could implement it. So, as we're familiar with already, his 6A and 6B parries have been replaced by their counterattacks as standard normals. Well, Jubei now has 2 new parry moves in the form of 4C and 4D. And they both use the old 6B animation. The only difference being is their counterattacks, which I will get into in a second here. But using 6B's animation, Jubei will block anything that isn't a grab, so this includes projectiles. Like so. And as you can see, when Jubei blocks something with 4C, he will respond with a modified, invincible version of his his non-install 5D. So nothing special about it. 4C is the counterattack is unblockable and fully invincible, which makes it unpunchable. So even if it whiffs miraculously somehow, like if he throws a projectile, you block it, and then Rachel jumps, you can technically block. I don't have it set to block, but Jubei could have blocked that, essentially. So, you can't punish him on the 4C counter, and 4D, if Jubei catches like there, he will respond with a modified version of his install 5D instead. So, I didn't feel the need to give them a different animation, considering the only difference is the actual retaliatory strike. Both of these parries have more guard point frames than the normal 6A and 6B, so it can catch attacks better and longer. The modification done to the enhanced drive is that while this can be blocked, unlike the 4C counter, it fatal counters and has 110 P1, which makes it the riskier but higher damage parry option. So say, if you want to really punish the opponent, you go for this, but if you want a safer option that's more guaranteed to hit them, you go for 4C instead. Pick your choice based on the scenario and what you think is coming, essentially. And also, as you can see, the final hit of the enhanced drive, different from the normal enhanced drive, the final hit will instead send the opponent into the air straight up, which makes it really easy to follow up on them with, assuming you don't dash too far under them right there. Let's see, anything else? No, that's about it. For that, anyways. Okay, yes. This is a change, our last, non-drive normal change, are to JB and JC, and they've both gotten a very similar change in that their secondary hits come out faster after the first, which allows his air strings to be more like this. As you can see, you can now land both hits of his JC and JB consistently after a launch, overall increasing the flashiness and damage of his air combos. I always found it kind of weird that he couldn't do this normally, but, well, now he can. It feels so much more right to have him able to do that, honestly. Don't try to do JB into JC, though. The JB knockback sends him too far up. I mean, it's like... If you do the first hit of JB into JC, the second hit of JC will whiff. So you kind of just gotta, like, pick whichever one you want, depending on what you're going for. Do something like that if you want height. I don't know. Alright. That is it for non-drive changes, which means all that's left now is to talk about all the incredibly crazy shit I've been working on for his drive moves and his specials. Okay, there's a lot to go over here. Let me see. Where do I even start? So I believe I talked about the extra cancel changes to the drives that he can cancel into old 5D up to 3 times. There has been a lot added onto this. For starters, and here this first part is a suggestion from John. Not quite what he asked for, but I have made Jubei invincible during both of his drive moves, so his unenhanced drives and his enhanced drives. Once Jubei vanishes and starts moving, he is invincible until he reappears. So they're not fully invincible, like on startup, but once he starts moving until he stops moving, he is invincible. Which means this is now capable of beating a lot of stupid shit from very far away. Probably like, hold on, does that mean I can do this? Oh, shitting on Rachel never gets old. That's so funny, though. Fuck you, bitch! Oh, that traded in my favor! I mistimed it, and it traded in my favor! That's how good this is! I fucked it up that time.
You're pretty scrappy.
Oh, okay, I don't regret doing that change now. Zoners beware! Jubei's diving at you from full screen, and there's nothing you can do about it anymore. Oh, shit. Okay, so that part's from John. The rest of this shit is all me. The, second hit from the invisible Shiranui mark, now has more air and technical time and ground slide time. So you get a little more time to follow up on it now. Just a little bit. And, all of these, and every old drive move can now cancel into, enhanced 5D. Every unenhanced drive move can, cancel into the enhanced version. Like so, I guess. For very, very flashy, technical combos. Ooh, actually, shit. Damn it, come on. Oh, that's so cool! Oh, that's so cool! I deadass fucked around with him in training mode here for like a solid hour before I started this recording, man. He can do so many cool things. He's so flashy and awesome now. Like, Jubei should have been more like this as a normal character. Maybe not this good, but like, I have to agree with everyone else that he's a little underwhelming on a base level. I haven't even gotten to the best part of the unenhanced 5Ds. There is one more change to these moves that I've done, and that is actually to the third one that you do in the string. I did say back in the other video you can do 3 of these. Well, when you do a third one now, the third one is now a meterless, non-overdrive roaring pillar that leaves Jubei closer to the victim and shares all of the cancel options that his unenhanced drives already have. Making it, and of course this does a shit ton of damage due to it being a fucking straight up distortion being used, basically. And you can easily combo after it afterwards for even more devastation. Oh man, is there anything else to talk about with that? Yeah, not really. After the second hit, go nuts, essentially. This is like your premier combo filler. You can only use it once per combo. So once you use it once in that combo, you have to wait for your opponent to attack before you can use another finishing 6D on them. Oh, and before I forget about the unenhanced drives, I missed one change by accident. I was looking at my change list here before I moved on. But the knockdown fours on air hits from the like the Shiranui mark hit, it has more downward fours, which sends the opponent down faster essentially. And this is so when you go really high up like this, that when it spikes them down. Motherfucker, I'm so bad at this today. When it spikes them down like that, it takes less timing to actually land the next one on the ground. So it makes it easier to do those, 3 chains after an air combo, essentially.
This is a real fight.
Oh, and another thing I want to say, or show off rather, before we continue with the change list, is, he actually has these really stupid, these 5C loops. Let me show you what I mean here. Look at this shit. Shit, I fucked it up. So that is more or less an infinite. I think you can loop that for 5K. You can do an easier basic bitch version without the 2C after landing, but that's more like this. This is that's a lot easier to do, but if you want to be a style master, you gotta do the 2C version like a real man. But yeah, you can just kind of loop this for Like a casual 8K before they finally fall out of it and do the hit 20K. Or just fuck them up like that. So, yeah, that's a thing. I'm not sure if I'm gonna let him keep that. I mean, probably. It's not too bad, but we'll see. Okay, that's, 2 tangents now, but I didn't want to miss talking about those things. Alright, so the next actual move change to talk about is, of course, we changed the shit out of his, unenhanced 5D, and I didn't touch his enhanced version last time, so next up is what I did to the enhanced version. Not quite as amazing as the unenhanced one, but I think everyone will find this quite satisfactory. Enhanced 5D, as talked about already, is invincible once Jubei starts dashing until he stops. Similarly to how the unenhanced ones can cancel into the enhanced ones, enhanced drive can cancel into the unenhanced drive. Like so. The Paration 1 on this attack has been raised from 80 to 90, and the air attack couple times has been raised 50%. The final hit of the rushes deals double damage, double base damage, I should say. And similarly to the regular drive, or the unenhanced drive, enhanced drive has its own follow-up if you decide to do it 3 times in one combo. This might take a second to show off, actually. Shit. First try, Seth? Fuck, goddamn, that was almost first try. Okay, hold on. There we go! Similarly to how unenhanced 5D's third one is a meterless roaring pillar, the third enhanced drive is a meterless morning shore. And of course, if you use to gain absurd height with your D-chains, that can rack up quite a bit of damage.
Maybe just stay down.
Right, so similar laws to the unenhanced finisher is that the morning shore can only be used once per combo, and you have to do 2 enhanced drive strings before Jubei can perform it. The command for it is 8D specifically to avoid interfering with further drive rushes you may want to do. Anything else special about this? Similar to the Roaring Pillar finisher, it does leave Jubei closer to the victim than the normal Morning Shore would. And also, of course, shares the cancel options after the final hit as enhanced 5D, so afterward, you can cancel the specials afterwards, what I was essentially going to show, what I already tried to show off. Oh, this part was a mess. But, yeah, his drives are much better, much flashier. Overall, just insanely fun to fuck around with, trying to, like, fit the stylish finishers on.
This is a real fight.
Fuck that one up, too. Damn it, trying to do an enhanced 5D upwards there. It's a little tricky to pull off sometimes. The input reg is a little funky, but it is doable. So that concludes all of the normal and drive changes, which just leaves all the stuff we did to specials, a few distortion changes, and 1 or 2 overdrive changes. But rather than elaborate on what we're going to talk about, we should probably just talk about it. So, the first major change, and this is a popular one by a lot of people, and I figured it was fine to do. So, for Jubei specials, very similarly to Hawkman and what I did with Dark Messiah Susanoo, Jubei's form specials can now cancel into each other in order of their forms. So that means Shadow Wolf goes into Demon Fox, goes into Wild Lion, goes into Black Panther. Goes into whatever else afterwards, because Black Panther is a combo extender and not a combo ender. So basically, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, whatever else you want to fucking do.
Back here.
Let's see. This also includes the follow-up version from Fishing Slash, by the way. So, that means off of Fishing Slash, you can do... Shit.
I've hardly said hello.
You can continue the Rekka chain when you normally couldn't by just canceling into the rest of the form specials afterwards. Which I find pretty cool. Speaking of Fissuring Slash, I've also very significantly changed it this time around too. All of the individual swipes are now attack level 4 from 3. Operation 1 is set to 90 from 80 with slightly more hit stun and air attackable time. Now you can go into Fissuring Slash Impact on the 4th swipe instead of the 3rd swipe. So you can do all 4 swipes before the finisher, and then do Impact and then do the finisher, rather than having to do 3 and cut it short. Which I kind of found it stupid in a way that you had to do 3 and then the finisher. You could just do 4 and then Impact and then a finisher. Well, you can't.
This is a real fight.
As well, in case the opponent side swaps with you while you're mashing your record chain miraculously, Jubei will change direction to chase the opponent down. Oh my god, that's disgusting. It jumps so high for that. Wait, what if I do Impact? Oh, damn it. Nearly anti-aired her. Oh, you can't. Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, god, you can combo on that, too. Hold on. You can get some really stupid, like, run-up full-screen confirms off of some of these stray hits that Jubei can land, dude. It's absurd. I have to wonder if I gave him a little too much air and technical time on certain stuff. Okay, so cross-up Fissuring Slash. Fissuring Impact has its own set of changes. I think I talked about how it can be jump canceled already. That was what I did to his Unlimited. This can now go into Divine Form on hit or block, though. So 2 through 6 or 2 and 4D.
Said hello.
What the hell? There we go. It's a little finicky. So you can do that on hit or block, or just jump cancel it. The attack level, similar to the Fissuring Slash slices, is raised to 4 from 3. Has its Paration 1 penalty removed, so it scales a lot better, because I think this is an attack level 5 move, but it has like a reduced Paration 1 value. So I took that off. Kind of like what I did to Black Panther last video. The air attackable time is doubled on Fissuring Impact, and this is now additionally... Shit. Air unblockable. Oh, you can just, like, block them. That's disgusting. Wow. So, Fissuring Impact's air blockable, too, now. The final hit of Fissuring Slash is attack level 5 with double the ground slide time, which, similarly to what I've already shown off, lets you get these really stupid run-up fucking 2C conversions from full screen. Oh, can't quite do that, though. That's probably for the better one, honestly. Double the ground slide time. It's also an overhead now. So you have to block it high, and is cancel into Distortions and Exceed Excel, besides his 2 through 6, 2 through 6C unlimited super that I gave him. But Whirling Killer is fair game, as well as in the corner if you want to do Exceed Excel. Shadow Wolf 2 through 6B has, that's a change from the Unlimited. This moves Jubei further forward now, which was a suggestion from John. It seems like it'd be a little minute, but I guess it gives it a little more horizontal range to cover the ground, so I just figured it was a good idea. It helps him, like, pick up some stray confirms, too. So, Shadow Wolf has more forward movement, the knockdown time is also increased, has double the extra chip damage the other sword specials would do. I described last video that I gave all of his sword attacks chip damage. Shadow Wolf has double the chip damage of all of his other sword attacks, or rather his sword specials. So rather than 25%, I believe it literally does half of its damage with chip. It also always connects like on counter hits, so it'll launch the opponent a little upward and then land them on the ground. The Paration 1 has been raised from 90 to 100 and has double the air attackable time. Lots of stuff for Shadow Wolf. Let's see. Demon Fox. Demon Fox has slightly more grounded hit stun time, so you can actually convert into it more often. You can actually go to 5C off it now instead of just 5A and 5B. Has 50% more air and technical time, and kind of similar to the change I did to 6D, or 6C. Ground bounces on air hit, and this is actually to, ground bounces on air hit with less pushback, and this is to make it connect better with the, Wild Lion afterwards, because prior to that it was dropping. So that makes Demon Fox into Wild Lion a consistent combo. Much more potent overhead on the all around too.
This is a real fight.
Okay, Wild Lion, speaking of, the falling hits on this move, that is now all an overhead. And the final hit when he lands on the ground, that is a low now. So, you have to block overhead low to block Wild Lion. Or, even worse, I think you can, like, can you prank her with, like, Black Panther? You can... Not really, I think it's still just low hit before that, but you can prank them with Black Panther afterwards. So yeah, this is like 60 overheads into 1 low. Good luck blocking that shit on reaction. The falling hits have the duration 2 raised from 79 to 85, so they scale better, allowing Wild Lion to rack up much better damage, especially at higher altitudes there. Anything else here? The only other thing to note about Wild Lion is that only the last hit, considering the rest of the move is known as claws, the last hit's known as the sword. The sword's only the last hit can cut projectiles, so this is not projectile invincible all the way through. Do not be mistaken there. The last hit will cut projectiles. Mistime that, but I'm not gonna bother taking 1,000 tries to try and cut that projectile with this fucking move. Next up is another change to Black Panther, albeit a minor one, but it has to do with the projectile cutting ability. So, Black Panther in particular, the only change I have done to it, or additional change I've done to it, is that this move's projectile invincibility lasts longer technically than everything else's, because I have made Jubei projectile invincible while the swords are behind, starting from the point that his swords are behind his back here. Because I figure if he's holding the swords behind him, especially in like a blocking motion, that it'd probably just like catch any projectile that landed on him during that time.
You're pretty scrappy.
Oh, that is terrible.
You're pretty scrappy.
Okay, apparently I need to give it even more projectile invincibility, because what the fuck is that shit?
You're pretty
okay, well, I'm gonna improve on that, but basically, yeah, Jubei's projectile invincibility on this move is longer than normal because it's before the active frames, and will last a little longer afterwards, probably. And now we get to talk about Rising Justice, the move that I really wanted to buff for his Unlimited, but couldn't at the time due to the scripting errors that pulled me back. But now, I have turned Rising Justice into a real move! On top of having the less recovery that I had before, actually it has even less recovery now. I made it even lower recovery than the Unlimited version, so it recovers even faster now. This can now be canceled into from any special on hit or block, and can also go into Divine Form.
Just quick.
After launching the ball, on the air or on the ground, like so. But now you can cancel into this from any special. Doesn't matter which one. Make you easily be able to set up Oki with it. The orb is attack level 3 from 2 with 90 duration 1 from 80, and the projectile is, oh jeez, more of that talking too fast again. The projectile level has been increased to 2, allowing it to beat more projectiles. Probably like Rachel's stupid Lobelia rod.
Just try and
right?
dodge. Just try and dodge.
I'm doing a very good job of testing that.
Just try and dodge.
Yeah, there we go. So I can make stupid shit like Rachel's projectiles now. The orb, similarly to Kokinoe's flame cages, as you probably already noticed several times in the video, Rising Justice will now hit a grand total of up to 4 times. Holy shit, that did 3,000 damage. That is disgusting.
Just try and dodge.
That's actually really gross. His Oki tool deals 3,000 damage raw. You can do combo off this too. More fucking damage after that. Oh, almost. But yeah, I made it more like Kokinoe's Flame Cage, but, on track, essentially. The orb is now always set to bounce towards the opponent, too, so say if you throw it up behind them... If you throw it up behind them... The orb will apparently not turn around. Sometimes it will. I made it so that the orb was going to always travel towards the opponent, so if it launched behind them, if they, like, dodged it somehow, it would, turn around and bounce back towards them. But I guess I fucked that up. I'll mess with that a little bit more, but it will turn around and autocorrect on the opponent. So there will be no escape from it. And, it'll also stay out if Jubei gets hit as well, so no need to worry about that anymore. Shit.
Just try and dodge.
This is not all for Rising Justice, however. There is an additional change I've done to it, in that if you hold C during the startup, Jubei will instead fire a different version of Rising Justice that, as you can notice, is much larger. And that's not the only thing that's different. He will fire a larger, stronger, and tracking fireball. Yes, tracking. It will follow the opponent, no matter where they are, or at least it will try to. It is attack level 5, projectile level 3, so it can blow throw even more projectiles than the uncharged version can. Has a duration of 100 instead of 80, like the unchanged version. And this will guard crush on normal block.
Just try and dodge. Just try and dodge.
And of course you can run full screen and combo off that. So stupid. And even if they do barrier block, it also deals really huge barrier damage. I should note that too.
Just try and dodge.
Yeah, there is half your barrier blocking a charged fireball, essentially. And then 2 will completely shred you into danger state, essentially. The larger version blows the opponent back on hit into a knockdown. Actually need to give it a little more air attackable time, but yeah. The last special change is going to be to Divine Form, of course. Let's see, what's the new stuff I did here? Divine Form can now be used multiple times in the air. Or rather, it's been limited to only be able to be used 3 times, so you can't infinitely air stall with it, I should say. It takes an air option, I believe. Does it take an air, like an air dash or a jump?
I'm quick.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
I'm quick.
Okay, it takes a jump and an air dash to use a Divine Form, but you can now use it more than 1 time.
I'm quick.
I believe it was limited to 1 use until you landed before, but now you get 3 uses, depending on just equivalent to how many jumps and air dashes you have. Cost an air option. The version used from Fissuring Slash can chain into its other follow-ups. So, that was Fissuring Slash into Divine Form into Shadow Wolf. All the Fissuring Slash versions. So that can be helpful. Wow, that is disgusting, actually. Wow. Shadow Wolf by accident. Me do. Black Panther. Oh, that is so dirty.
Maybe just stay
But
down.
Divine Form, a lot more abusable, especially in your Fissuring Slash chains. Go nuts with it. By all means. Okay, finally to round out the hopefully not super long showcase comes the Distortion changes / the 2 overdrive changes to talk about as well. The first being to, Twin Guardians Morning Shore. I have, not touched Roaring Pillar yet, so that will be next time. I have plans on what to do with it, but I'm not bothered to implement them yet.
Stay down.
As for Morning Shore, starting with a suggestion from Jeets yet again, Morning Shore is now usable on the ground. I want to quickly note this move actually has frame 1 invincibility, giving Jubei a new Meteorous reversal because Roaring Pillar does not have invincibility on startup, and neither does this. This does, though. You can use it on the ground. Of course, because they share the same command, I had to change Morning Shore. Morning Shore is now 214, 214D instead of 236, 236D. Might be a little, odd to get used to for some Jubei players, but I assure you it won't be too big of a deal. see, anything else? Other than that, it is now air unblockable as well, so if the opponent is jumping around in the air, you can just instantly give them a bad time, and they're basically fucked, because there's no way they're gonna land before the air unblockable hit kicks in and clocks that for free. That's about it though, because I already had the unlimited changes of being able to, double super off of it. Like so. Or just like using it to knock down to mount some offense. Speaking of his unlimited distortion, though, I did actually do something to it. I have made it, so unlike the unlimited form, this is not a foot attack anymore. Which means jumping it after the flash is no longer as viable of a tactic of getting out of the way of the unblockable hit that it deals. Sorry about that. I'm sure it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And I, of course, did not leave out his other unlimited distortion I gave him, or rather the distortion that BB Tag gave him that I put into this game, one of the few good things BB Tag has ever actually done. His counter distortion, Twilight Tiger 22C. Let's see here. Well, for starters, the counter attack on this is now unblockable. So that, well, I don't think you're gonna be able to block it anyways because the Super Flash extends a very long time, but just in case there's somehow some jank where you can get out of it, I not only extended the Super Flash a little bit, but I made it so that the counter attack is unblockable. But the main draw here actually is that Twilight Tiger will now activate even if the parry is not triggered, reminiscent, of course, of Unlimited Hakumen and Limited Jin's Winter's Riposte attacks. Jubei's Twilight Tiger follows suit by, essentially, if they, do not trigger your parry, you will still do the counterattack, which, just like Jin and Hakumen's, is unblockable. So they gotta get the fuck out of the way if they see the parry coming, even if they don't actually trigger it. This thing has some range on it, especially. That fucking active, exceeding cell hit at the end. And now, like I said I would do last time, I have gotten around to, of course, changing the command on Jubei's Astral off that god-awful half-circle back twice motion to a nice, clean, simple, easily accessible, non-fucky 222C motion. Making it much easier to use and kill people with. Hooray. Not really much else to say on that. Fuck that Astral command. Alright, and now for our last two changes. These both have to do with overdrive. The first change I don't really need to actually show off, but it's that Wild Lion's final hit. This is kind of a suggestion from John, but I figured it'd work better as an overdrive change. The final hit of Wild Lion will launch the opponent higher and closer to Jubei, but the real attraction is a continuation of what I said I was going to do last time. Remember when I said about his overdrive last time when he activates, he triggers a gold burst? Well, I am happy to say, everyone, that I have figured out a very foolproof and effective way to have it work now. Simply by having Jubei, when he goes into overdrive, it will force him into the burst state, causing the gold burst to go off without a hitch now. I originally was going to have it, like, activate when he returned to a neutral state, but if you pressed the buttons too fast, like, you had to wait a second to actually let the burst go off before you could do anything else. I figured that'd be a little too weird, so I figured the easier version would just be have him automatically burst. And I think this shouldn't be punishable, I don't think. Or it might be. If it is punishable, I need to add more block stun to it, somehow, some way. But oh shit, that is punishable. That's kind of disgusting. Okay, yeah, be careful with your overdrive, I guess, until I figure out something for that, but, so he'll automatically gold burst when you go into overdrive, making it the ultimate combo extender, as it also gives it a proration, as I already explained, gold burst from Continuum Shift to give a proration 2 bonus, upscaling your combo damage. So overdrive cancels are stronger for Jubei than probably any other super boss. thus far. And there's actually a combo I labbed out that I would like to show you guys. You can go on half health with that, but I might as well show off the Wild Lion change real quick.
No more fool.
I said I wouldn't, but I didn't want to spoil the Gold Burst change first.
You're right up.
Shit.
Hardly said hello.
Fuck. Normally, launches too low, no follow-up, well... Now you can parry cleanly. Combo off of that.
Maybe something wrong. You look
Up
awfully
time on the
unmotivated.
drive moves. There's so many weird drops like that have been happening. Alright. That about does it for the showcase, though. I don't know about you guys. I think he's turning out more than perfect so far. And I think with any luck, maybe very optimistically, if I get some superhuman, like, don't suffer any burnout, no weird freaking just issues of mine go on, I can maybe have him done next month. And then released in, like, March, maybe. I wouldn't hold your breaths, but we can all be hopeful. But needless to say, or rather as I've already said, I'm having a lot of fun working on Jubei. He's turning out to be a very good creation. I think everyone will love him. I really hope he doesn't end up being one of those mobs that gets, like, no views, like Lychee and some of the others, because Jubei deserves it, man. Especially with how good he's being made. He's one of my better made ones for sure, I think. But, like I said, I did lab out a really cool-ass 50% health overdrive cancel combo that I kind of want to show you guys. I can use that to end off the video.
No more fool. Here goes. Here. Crumble. Gotcha.
Woo! There we go! Holy shit, that did 22,000 damage! I labbed that, I originally labbed that on Noelle, and she would always die after the Roaring Pillar, because that hit 19k, which is more health than she has, of course. But, yeah, probably not even the most optimized combo he can do, and of course I'm not done making all of his overdrive effects yet, so chances are that route will actually do more damage when he's actually fully finished. But, yeah, just something cool I wanted to show off that I found while fucking around with him, like, the hour before I made the showcase here. It'll be fun for you all to keep in the back of your minds at the moment. A nice way to end off the video here. So, that will conclude the showcase for now. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to catch you in all future uploads. And I'll see you later. Look forward to more Jubei.